Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another Telling It Like It Is. My name is Jade Alberts, the founder of Peer Guidance. Sharing knowledge and stories is why I started Telling It Like It Is. It is live. If you have any questions, plop them in there. If you're watching this after the fact, put your questions in there and they will be answered. I would like to thank BitVo for their sponsorship. They are on a mission to become Canada's premier cryptocurrency exchange. Digital currencies, real people. Download or visit their app, www.bitvo.com. It'll be in the comment section shortly, and it's scrolling across the screen at the bottom. I am excited about today's guest, Hafiz Mitha. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you, sir.
You know, the funny thing is you logged on 1 minute, and I was like, oh my God, I'm panicking.
I didn't mean to just keep you on your toes. You know what I mean? I was here, but I just want to mess with you a little bit.
Oh, that's all the way it works. I mean, it doesn't matter. We're here, we're moving, and that's all that counts, right?
Exactly. I'm sorry about that, by the way.
Well, no worries at all. No worries at all. I talk about how we met, but I'm gonna do a quick bio first, and then I'll go into how we met because I think it's such a neat story. So, Hafiz is a social entrepreneur dedicated to bringing people together using play as a medium. After selling his shares of Catapult, a company he co-founded in 2009, he decided to launch Play City, a company on a mission to help connect people through play. The idea uses technology to bring people together offline. What started as an idea to find a tennis partner at the same skill level blossomed into a platform that has connected over 13,000 people through a variety of activities. He's looking to partner with organizations, share a mandate of promoting physical activity, diverse relationships, and increasing well-being in a society that spends too much time isolated on your phones. So how I found you, I mean, you know the story. I mean, we just probably one of my coolest meetings ever when you and I went and played a little 8-ball. But I was listening to the Jim Rome show, and I'm just like, oh my God. And, you have tennis in your bio. One of their producers was talking about how it's hard to find people to play tennis at his level. And I was like, oh, this is a pretty cool app. And he was talking it up, and away we went. And I said, I'm going to check out this app, being a sports guy myself. And lo and behold, the founder of Play City is in Calgary. And here we are. I mean, I just didn't expect that.
Yeah, it's kind of wild, right? When you have a similar interest, and I'm super grateful for Jim to even talk about us on his show, and some of the exposure that we have gotten, because I think people do realize that it is important. People do want to find people to play with. But it's just hard to do that.
And being mentioned on the Jim Rohn show, who has millions and millions of listeners, over probably a minute and a half, 2 minutes is pretty cool.
Well, I have to reach out to Jim and thank him for that. That's huge.
Exactly. Well, I mean, I'm lucky enough to, that, sports has been a big part of my life. And, even our meeting, having a pool meeting, that was neat. So I have a built-in network to go out there and, flying, whether it's squash or my baseball and organized leagues, things like that. So I understand how difficult it can be for people like tennis. So what inspired you to start this?
Honestly, it was really a need that I had for myself. Sorry, am I cutting out right now?
No.
Or does it sound okay?
Sounds okay.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, when I sold my shares in my last company, I moved back to Calgary, and I remember thinking I was on my sabbatical, right? I had a little bit of time, and I had these amazing tennis courts right beside my place, and I was just like really, really hard for me to meet someone to go play tennis with when I wanted to. It was a brand new sport for me. And I remember thinking that I didn't know anyone in my new condo building. So even though I had a nice place, I was still isolated in my little box. Yeah. And I didn't know who was in my condo building. I didn't know anyone in my area. All my friends were at work or doing other stuff. And I was like, I wanted to find something to do for my next company or whatever. I knew I was socially driven. I wanted to make something of impact, but I wanted to solve a real need. And for me, it was finding someone that was in the same skill level that wanted to play when I wanted to. So I just started asking as many people as I could if they had the same issue. And many times I would hear, I'm new to the city, or I have a limited network of people that want to play the same thing I want to, or the timing never works out. And I just remember I had my aha moments when I was looking at some of the dating apps that were doing a great job connecting people based on their preferences and kind of taking the legwork out of making that connection. And I was like, I want to do the same thing, but for physical activity buddies, and just help people stay active and work on their mental health and make new friends. And I know growing up from playing hockey my entire life as well too, like the friends I made, but also the life skills I've learned along the way. Many people just need to find something fun and a shared interest to really be the common denominator, and then everything else kind of happens after that. Like our pool game, like pool was just the medium, but we had an amazing conversation, like the high fives, just like real talk, right? And it's a much deeper connection when you're actually doing something that you really like to do versus something that you have to do.
And I think that's such a great point, right? I mean, in today's world, right, where especially the last year and a half, where there's been a lot of this. I mean, and I'm a face-to-face guy. I want to go out there. Even during COVID, I did walk and talks. I did things along those lines. I need to build that relationship, and nothing is better than face-to-face. And even I can see, through connections, through sport, whatever it may be, it's just such an important part of of who we are as people.
Right. Yeah. Like, we're not made to be working all the time and just continuously stressed about that. Like, we're made to connect and learn and experience and have fun in the process as well too, right? But also move our bodies. Like, we're way too sedentary today. That's the biggest problem. Not only are we isolated because of COVID and everything else, but we're on our phones, sitting on our couches, on our computer chairs for way too long and watching like Netflix marathons or whatever. And you forget about how much good just getting outside does. But a lot of times we miss that accountability, right? No one to really meet us or say, I'll meet you there at 1 o'clock. You're going to be there. It's like, okay, I will be there to meet you. So there's so many benefits to play, right? We see it in our kids. So what's crazy is that we know the benefits of physical activity for our pets. I don't know if you've ever had a big dog they've never taken out for a walk for a couple of days, but they get pretty squirrely and things get a little interesting, right? So we know what the physical activity does for our pets, but many people don't do it for themselves, which is wild.
We forget about ourselves, right? We take ourselves for granted. We figure that, you know what? And I've been sitting in front of Zoom all day, and now I'm just going to go and move over to the couch and, again, watch some Netflix. And we forget that, health is movement, whether it be going to the gym, whether it be going for a walk, whether it be going for a hike. It doesn't really matter what it is. And it's always more pleasurable when you have someone to, have a little chin wag with. So why don't you share how your app works?
Yeah, so the app works very, very simply. You simply log in through email or Facebook. We'll guide you through like an onboarding process to learn more about you, your interests, your availability, and then you can choose your sports or activities that you're interested in, and then associated skill level. So you can say I am available from 6 to 10 on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I live in this area. I am a tennis player, and this is my skill level. And then boom, you're into the system, and you can start browsing different profiles. If you see someone that makes sense for you to invite, that would be a good match. Shoot them an invite. They get a notification saying Hafiz has sent you an invite to go play tennis. They can review my profile and then accept or decline. And if they accept, then a conversation gets started. Like an actual chat box will be open for that. And then we figure out where and when we want to go play. And then based on what sport or activity that we choose, we also show you the nearest facilities and programs associated with that as well. So it's not only removing the barrier of who to play with, it's also where and when, but also potentially now where to go play as well.
So I know we've mentioned tennis a few times. Are there any other sports or I guess sports or events that you have on the app?
Tons, yeah. So right now we have, like, I met someone, a group of people to play spike ball with on Sunday. And it was super random. They wanted to play in Raleigh Park, but they needed a fourth. And I was like, yeah, I'm in. Right, let's go play. So I spent a couple hours playing spike ball with some new friends, and it was incredible. And I went hiking on Monday as well too. So we have our most popular sports on the app are running, working out, tennis, hiking. So more activities that you just need like one person for. Like climbing is a big one on there as well too. But we have everything from billiards to dog walking to volleyball. You need maybe an intermediate softball player for your CSSC league game. Find your sub one there as well too, right? So there's all kinds of activities.
Well, I think that's pretty cool. I mean, I just love the fact that you're connecting people online to meet offline. I mean, it's something that and especially to promote physical activity. For anybody that wants to find out more, PlayCityApp.com is their website. You can just click on it in the comment section. It'll take you directly there, or you can just type in Play City on the app or Google Play Store, and you'll be able to download the app. So what type of is it, I guess, is it more male dominated? Is it more female dominated, or is it just see kind of a 50-50 split when it comes to people looking for someone to go hiking with or go climbing with?
Yeah, that's a good question. So when we first started, it was definitely probably like a 70-30 split for male to female. And then we got a partnership with MEC in 2019 after an accelerator program I went to in Vancouver. And because such a big brand like MEC was putting their trust in us and getting our name out there, we saw then many, many more women come on to the app as well too. And we're very clear that Play City is not a dating app. It is very much a activity-based platform. That provides an opportunity for you to meet someone based on a shared interest. What that turns into is completely up to you. So I have many stories of people have told me that they have started dating someone because they, how many people have you met in real life that met their spouse playing volleyball at whatever, or on a co-ed team or something like that. But there's also many stories of people that have said, I've met my roommate, or I met someone that I started a business with, or I met my actually best friend. I moved here from a different country. We met playing tennis, and now we're going camping and hiking, or whatever. Now we have a crew of people that we go with. So yeah, long story short, MEC gave us that validation of a large multinational corporation, and many, many women started pouring into the platform. But speaking of which as well too, and this is actually good timing, we just launched a women-only channel in the app because we did have many people that were saying things like, and more so, people of color or culturally diverse individuals saying that my parents don't want me to meet other men, for example. Can you make a women-only channel so I feel comfortable wearing my hijab and meeting someone to go for a walk? So I really want to just find an accountability partner, and that was a perspective that I didn't have. Like, obviously I'm a person of color, but never had that that barrier of like safety or just feeling culturally insensitive or whatever. So my intern Dina actually brought that to my attention, saying there's many things going on in the world. My parents would find it really much more comfortable for me to use the app if I could only meet women, and I only want to be a part of that one channel. So I really appreciated that feedback from her, and we actually launched that this week as just a women-only channel for people that just only want to meet only women.
Well, and I like that. I mean, that's no different than the gym having a women's only section or
Right.
something along that, right? I mean, I think it's whatever makes people comfortable meeting offline, and that's what it's for.
Right.
To make sure that people can provide those collisions. And thank God, I mean, I met my wife in a bar, right? I mean, you never know where you're going to meet your things. Better in the softball diamond, I would have said softball diamond, but I can't lie. So
hey, shared interest, man.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
right? We're dancing, so I guess it is physical activity.
Exactly. Right? There you go.
So, I mean, before we kind of move on something different, I kind of want to talk a little bit about, I mean, obviously COVID really impacted, probably your business plan. You said you were rocking and rolling and got MEC as a sponsor and as a client, and then they, gave you a lot of credibility. How did you survive during COVID, and what did you have to do to kind of, keep people from, or keep people coming to your app and when it was really a time when you weren't supposed to get together?
Yeah, COVID in the beginning was very, very tough for us because it became illegal to meet new people that were out of your bubble, right? So we had to make some really big, fast pivots, and we created an online section on the app for online resources like mindfulness and meditations and group challenges. We also started a weekly event on the app as well too, called The Collective. So anyone that was in the ecosystem could show up on a Zoom call for like a mental health check-in. And really just connect, because the idea has always been to connect people, right, with whatever medium that looks like, but based on a shared interest. So people are stuck at home now. They're sitting in their condos. They can't go out and play. They can't do whatever. Isolation is not what we're made for, right? So we need to create that social outlet, and it just happened to be Zoom at that one point. So we pivoted that way. We created some wellness resources like a checklist that would help people get through their day by having like an Instagram contest saying, today, these are the 5 things I did. I drank enough water. I had an active service. I did something physical. I connected with somebody, whether it was a text or a phone call or a Zoom call or a wave to my neighbor, whatever, right? but our why was really kind of what got us through, and our why has always been connect to people through technology, but whether offline or now online as well. So that was really key. So we created like wellness competitions, all kinds of resources, and honestly, it was really a way for me to cope myself, because I went from a place of playing a lot of sports to sitting at home trying to figure out how do I make this company survive, right? And I was very fortunate to have a good team to help pivot and kind of just be creative and have fun, and create a lot of videos and just had fun with it, right? And we got through, luckily.
Well, no, I mean, and congrats to that. Again, I'm talking with Hafiz, Mitha, the founder of PlayCityApp. Click on the comment section, take you directly there. Download the app in the App or Google Play Store. So yeah, I totally get that, right? I've talked to many people here over the last little bit, and even our guest next week, right, coming on is John Minchin of Spot Dog Walking. I mean, again, almost very similar. Business shut down. Basically, no one's walking their dog. Everyone can walk their dogs by themselves. No one's going into work.
Right.
You know, did what he had to do to stay alive, and kudos to you for doing that, because it's, you know, it's very stressful. It's very difficult. And you're kind of locked in with not being able to do things that you love to do. So I have a high level of respect for people like yourself that were able to do that.
Thank you.
So now, coming out of COVID, obviously, you know, I don't know what's going to happen. You know, obviously we got our masks back on, things along those lines. Have you done any pivoting? Are you going to be doing anything that, you know, found that worked in COVID? Like, oh, that's actually pretty cool, and it's going to work, and we can add that to our app.
Yeah, definitely. What we found during COVID was that people wanted to get out, but they wanted to feel safe, but they wanted a facilitated experience. Mm-hmm. So we ran probably about 25 hikes every other weekend from when COVID started till like this Sunday. So people like to still get out, but they want to feel like I don't have to carpool. I can show up where I'm supposed to be. Someone's going to take care of it. Someone's certified. So we started doing a lot of different hikes, and we were actually sponsored by a lot of different companies, like Fit Kitchen, you know, Red Bull Canada gave us some investment there as well too. Oh, actually, one thing I didn't mention is that we started something called the hide and seek. So we knew that people still needed to be outside, but even though they couldn't do it in groups, we created a campaign that would give you an urban scavenger hunt that can actually get outside and find a landmark by using our app to get the hint. And so that created the stickiness on our platform to use the app and then go outside and actually get the Mech gift certificate that we're giving away, or some Barstar kombucha that we're giving away from a local company. So we gave people incentives, but facilitated the experience for them to get outside by giving them little nudges to say, this week we're going to be in this part of the city. We encourage you to get outside, check out somewhere new in your city that you've never got into, and go have fun and be incentivized to do that. So we created a leaderboard. You know, we gamified the entire thing as well too. We saw a huge uptick. So that also got us through COVID, because we had cool partners that were now sponsoring that to say, like, we like what you're doing, getting people outside in a safe manner. Here's a little bit of money to actually to keep your operations going.
And who doesn't like hide and seek?
Right? Yeah. And this is more of a scavenger hunt. It wasn't like that traditional hide and seek.
I like the name better. I like the hide and seek better, right? It brings you back to your childhood when you used to play kick the can, hide and seek, and all the fun games. Right.
Exactly. And that's really what we're about, right? Like, we're trying to keep people young and remember how things were before we were stuck to our phones and the internet, right? Like knocking on your friend's door or going for bike rides and calling people on a landline and saying, like, hey, you want to go play in half an hour? I'll meet you at the park. So I always call myself like the anti-tech guy, because you know, I'm trying to use technology for the reason what I believe it should be used for, as a conduit for what we want it to be, which is that connection. But I love when people say, hey man, I use your app and I put my phone away for 2 hours and I just played, or I was like present in nature, but I did it with somebody else, which is really cool. And I explored somewhere that I've never been. But we were brought together by the platform. That's the goal.
I just love it, right? Anytime you know, obviously being a father of 2 kids, right? 11 and 14, we keep them active, whether it be climbing and swimming and dance and softball and things like that line. It's so important. I mean, I said this before, just to keep the adults active, because we just get into that mindset and the depression and anxiety and the suicides, things like that. I mean, it will only, bring things like that down if we're connected together. You have a group to hang out with. You can go play tennis, a hike, anything along those lines.
It's huge. Connection's massive. And, to answer your question as well, too, like how we pivoted even further, we found a really big opportunity within the enterprise. There are companies right now that are struggling to keep their employees connected. You've lost that water cooler conversation because people are working at home, the hybrid environment. One day you're in the office, one day you're not. And many people have moved from different cities to work in these companies, right?
Yeah.
So you have all these people that are here, but they don't really know each other anymore. And like exactly like you said with your kids, what you're trying to battle. You're trying to battle that isolation. You're battling the depression, and you're battling the mental strife that comes from like physical inactivity. So how do we control these mediums by bringing people together from now a company perspective to say, you have like 5,000 employees that don't know each other. There are really cool ways to actually engage them and make sure that they can create their own unstructured play opportunities based on a shared interest. And that's going to create better culture, better sense of retention, better team camaraderie, communication within the company. Like all these things happen when you're basing your interaction on a shared interest, something that's just like, there's so much more than just happy hour Zoom calls, right? Nobody wants, many people don't want to sit there and just slam a few beers in front of a screen and go back to their day.
Yeah.
I'd rather meet you and go play pool, right? And learn about what you're up to and, potentially where you are in different part of the company and kind of just really talk like a human being, right? And again, just use that connection piece as kind of like the starting point.
I think that's such an important point for companies, right? I know that I'm a 24-year work from home guy. It wasn't a difficult transition for me, but my wife struggled immensely and still is. And, even last night we had a conversation is like, I need to be around people. I need to be out work. I need to do that. So I see a huge opportunity here with, bigger companies that this is something so new, right? For managers, who've done something the same way for the last 30 years. And now all of a sudden, poof, I got to change my entire management structure. How am I going to do it without seeing them being in a 2-inch screen? So I see a really huge opportunity for that.
Thank you. So do we. We've had some cool pilots already, and we've got some other ones in the works as well too. But forward-thinking companies that are putting their employees first, their well-being first, are exactly seeing that same trend, right? Like we need to make sure our employees are human and treated like humans that have needs, that are around connection, that have that incentive to go play, to meet their peers and feel like they belong, right? Create those diverse relationships. All these things are not only vital for their well-being, but a healthy, happy person is a healthier, more productive and amazing employee and team member. So they're making that investment to say, like, what do we do to make our people feel better? How do we give them the tools and resources to make sure that their well-being is like the number one priority and is taken care of? So it's pretty amazing to see. It's long overdue, I think, for a lot of companies. But the moment we realize that our people that work with us are our biggest asset and is the company, we can thrive, right?
People, I always say this, and I've been saying it for many, many years, is people are the heartbeat of every company, right? I mean, why am I loyal to that company over there? It's probably because I like that sales rep, or I like that, whatever it is. And I, why? And it's all comes down to the people, right? If that person leaves, or I lose, I could lose a lot of different things when it comes to a company if I start losing good people.
Absolutely. Yeah, they always say that. If people don't leave bad companies, they leave bad managers. And that's the same thing with other people as well. It's like I remember working at Scotiabank when I was in university, and it was a call center, right? And you would go in there and you would have people that you sat beside each other who kind of knew each other. And then you had structured breaks, and that was it. And I remember being back then, and this is like early 2000, I'm like, I don't know anyone in this company. There's like 1,000 people in this building. And there's a pool table downstairs that was never being used, or one person would be kind of shooting around by themselves. So I remember starting this like weekly get together that I would actually go and book a gym, and I'll just put the poster up or whatever. And I'd tell people like, hey, you want to come play indoor soccer, or you want to play ball hockey? It's going down Tuesday, 8 o'clock, show up. It's only Scotiabank people. And we'd have the most random people from across the building show up. And then what's going on the next day? You're walking by, high-fiving people or talking smack, like because I was a goalie as well too. So you would just talk smack to people, right? And the next thing you know, you're building camaraderie. And people are now hanging out at lunch, and they're going for walks at lunchtime, and then people are hanging out on weekends. So like, wow, that's what was needed versus just like clocking in and out and saying, okay, thank you for that check, I'm out now, right? Like people are really making real friends.
Yeah.
And again, it comes back down to a shared interest. But the funny thing
So
is that
you were literally running Play City without knowing it with pen and paper.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
It was an app before it was an app.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I think I've always just seen the value of like physical activity and having fun, right? And a lot of people just need someone to kind of sometimes lead it for them and say to show up and have fun and understand that creating a safe place for people is a huge part of that experience, right? Understanding that you're walking into a beginner or an intermediate or an advanced session or whatever, but know that the person that's running it has your best interest in mind. It's not going to leave you hanging. It's very much like a social experience of like making those introductions, and understanding everyone's got this desire to feel like they belong. So what are the tactics you can do to make them feel comfortable?
I mean, I couldn't agree more. I think that's awesome. And I actually think when you talking about, usually my next question is what's next, but we kind of talked about moving into the corporate side of things. And I really do love that idea. I think people really need that right now in companies. I think managers, founders need it. I know everybody needs it. Maybe you have a startup section for people, kind of the same way how I started talking, right? Where it's just worlds collide because people need to talk, need to meet people. So I love that. I love getting into the enterprise world. I think it's really, really needed there.
Thank you. No, I appreciate it. And it comes down to like our sales cycle as well too. Like I've been doing this for 6 years now. We worked from everyone from AHS to retailers like MEC or to like organizations like the City of Calgary. And it really comes down to like who are the forward-thinking companies that have forward-thinking managers that understand why it's important for people to connect. And those are the ones that we want to work with because they actually understand it, and that ROI is very much the non-tangible things like how are you feeling, right? Like how are you actually just are you bringing your best self to work? Do you enjoy being here, right? Like what's your happiness look like? Let's talk about those things versus how much money have you made me?
Yeah, I'm 100% behind that. That's for sure. I mean, what a great conversation again, Hafiz. I've thoroughly enjoyed this. For anybody that's listening, just click on the comment section. PlayCityApp.com is there. Download their app, and you can start connecting with people offline. So, I mean, you've been a multiple founder, you've had successful exits, you started a new company, you ran through COVID, you got punched in the face, you found a way to pivot. I mean, the amount of, we could probably talk for an hour on the advice you have for startups. But if you have just one piece of advice for a small business, startup, or entrepreneur, what would that be?
I think any entrepreneur, kind of Mike Tyson, what does he say? Everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the face, right? So building some sort of resilience in your practice of just being a human, I think is very, very crucial. I found that taking care of my well-being myself has been the key to whatever is going on and not folding many times that I wanted to. So yes, I would say take care of yourself. You take care of your well-being. Your mental health is the most important thing. I think mindset's everything. Taking that time to unplug, meditate, read, journal, whatever. Like ground yourself in gratitude. All those like things that you read about that sound woo-woo to many people. Those are the keys to really that longevity because it's a long game. It's a marathon mindset versus like that short-term that win. Right? It is about the long game, but also have a strong why. That North Star has to be so strong that the medium that you have doesn't have to be the end result, right? It's the strong why that keeps you going.
No, I love that, and I think I randomly connected. I put myself out there and say anybody ever want to talk, have a coffee, phone call, Zoom, whatever you want. I'd be there for you. And yesterday, I had an hour and a half conversation with a young gentleman that was really struggling in life, and I hope difference and I'll stay in touch with him, and I mean that happens probably once or twice a month that I sit down with somebody as a rant just because they need help, and I agree with you. You have to look after yourself, especially now. It's very difficult. You're getting your friends ripped to front. You can't go see family. You can't do that. I mean, I know things are opening up, but we're going to see ramifications from what happened over the last year and a half, years. And I could not agree more, is that we have to look after yourself. If someone reaches out to you, just listen. I mean, that's all they're looking for, is someone for, to have a kind of shoulder. It might not be to cry on, but just to be there for somebody. So I love that advice. I totally get it. I understand it. I live it. So, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, thank you, man. Like, I think the world needs people like you as well too, to actually listen and not judge, and just listen, right? Like, I've been seeing a psychologist now for about a year and a half, and that's been a game changer for understanding our thoughts and our patterns, and understanding that we are our best advocate if we give ourselves the opportunity to be, and do a little bit of rewiring there as well too.
No, absolutely. And I love this conversation. It was, I mean, what we should have done is just Facebook Live our pool conversation too. That would have been neat.
Right.
Everybody exactly. What kind of a shark you were, just sandbagging.
You cleaned the table the first game. What are you talking about?
Like I said, it was only downhill from there.
Yeah. Let's do that again, though. That was awesome.
That was good, and I look forward to our next one as we try and find a snooker table in the city here, and we can both see how really bad we are on a 12x6.
Let's do it. Anytime.
Again, thanks a lot, Hafiz, for coming on. Thank you for BitBo for coming out there. Check out their website, bitbo.com, if you're looking to trade digital currency, buy digital currency. It's a Calgary-based company, a Canadian company, very secure. So definitely check them out. And of course, PlayCityApp.com, and just click on it in the comments section. And, Hafiz, I enjoyed this, and, have yourself a great day. And I look forward to our next conversation.
Yeah, thanks so much.